Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, I have a very special guest with me today. It's such an honor to have her on the show. She is a nail artist and designer. Please welcome Spifster Sutton. Hello, Spifster, and welcome to the show.
Hey,
Yes,
thank you
hello,
for
hello. How are
having me.
you?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, glad to have you. I definitely want to go ahead and ask, like, where are you originally from, and tell us a little about your upbringing.
I am originally from Chicago, born and raised, never left nowhere, low end, no end. I'm still in my stomping grounds where I grew up. I lived right there. You can see I can right there not that long ago. But yeah, I am true and true a Chicago girl. My upbringing, I've always had an art kind of upbringing in the sense like I always tell people I credit my mama for a lot of my style and how I like my zest to always want to create some new type of look too. Like I grew up, my mom used to change our bathroom decor like literally every week, and it wouldn't be like she repeating it like the same one or two, shower curtains. Like we had
Right.
about like 20 different sets. Like I would come in the house and be a whole different bathroom every time, whatever like that. So all of my house, I mean, all the rooms in my home were painted a certain color, and we
Right.
lived in a home that we couldn't paint in the apartments or whatever like that. So coming
Yes.
from that type of upbringing of just like I'm gonna be artistic regardless of what it is just something way to express myself that definitely has helped shape me or whatever. So yeah, I had a colorful upbringing. I had a happy upbringing too. So it's just cool over here in Chicago. Chicago's a great place to be born from. We breed some dope people.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I definitely want to get into in regards to beauty. So, what are like your earliest memories concerning beauty and nails? Like, how'd you get into the beauty industry?
Purely by accident, girl. I was a nail biter my whole life.
Mm,
Always chewing the hell out of my nails, whatever. So when I graduated from high school, just naturally thinking like, hey, I'm about to be getting into the workforce soon. I can't be coming to these work interviews with bitten up nails. So it literally was just a way to stop biting my nails. But because I always was artistic, it didn't take me long for me to start trying things on my nails. And like I said, because I came from a mama who was changing our shower curtains every damn week, I was changing my nails like all the time because I would just be over a look and be like, new set or whatever like that. And as I was doing it, using different nail tools and stuff like that, I started to,
right.
started getting my flow with things like, okay, well, let me do a color block this time. Or if I do two colors, that means I could probably do three colors next time. And just that's literally how it began, just purely off accident and being
Mm-hmm.
around people. I always was social, so people seeing my nails, work retail. I got people coming to I work in the Ann Taylor time. People come to Ann Taylor like, oh, you get your nails done. I'm like, these, I did it myself, girl. So it yes,
Right.
progressed like that.
Right. That's really, really amazing. Now, did you attend like, college?
I did a little bit, not for real, for real. I did like a little community college stint. I went to Harold Washington over here for about what do you say it was 2 years, but I had to
Mm,
get out of that. I was, I would hear stories about the community college like curse, people being the 2 year college for 6 years. I ain't trying to be there because you still trying to figure out what you want to do or whatever. So
right.
I spent my time there and got up out of that bad boy because it's like, nah, this is not what I want to do. This is not where I'm going. Because at the time when I first when I graduated high school, I applied for Columbia College out here. So, and for people who don't know, Columbia College out here is one of the better known art schools in America. So, right
Hmm.
here in Chicago downtown, I knew a lot of people that were going there already. I'm like, bet this is about to be it. I'm trying to get into the
Right.
advertisement world. I'm trying to get my art out here. This would be the
Right.
perfect place. But I'm like, I don't know. Something just don't feel settled, and I don't feel like to have
Yeah.
like these student loans off back for some shit that I didn't want to do. So,
Right. Hmm.
um, yeah. So I just went to the community college, did a little bit there, dropped out, and we've been doing nails ever since then. So
Yeah, I went to SCAD, so like, yeah, it makes sense. You got to know what you want to do before you jump into college, because next thing you know, you get a major for something that you're not going to be using, and you just waste a whole ton of money, from going to a 4 year or 6 year or 9 year college.
that part, and just you hear it today. Our friends who complain about student loans and stuff like that. That's like one of those stresses in life that I just don't have to deal with. When people go
Mm,
on Twitter talking about, all right, y'all gonna drop these student loans, I'll be like, I don't got nothing to say. So I
right.
wasn't doing that myself. So
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I had to dip out and just choose what I wanted to do at that time, and it was really just dedicating my life to whatever this nail stuff was doing. I didn't know what it was doing at that time, but I'm like,
Right.
something's happening, and I think I should stick with it for a little bit, just a little bit. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how'd you get the name Spifster?
I started in graphic design. I did a lot of graphic design before I did nails, and I would coin a lot of my collections that I would make then and there, like Spiffy this, the Spiff Chronicles, because Spiffy is to make things appealing in appearance, and I felt like I kind of had this like
Mm,
corrective sense of designing. Like I could see what the
mhm,
problem is, and I know what I can, add to make it look better, or whatever. So, literally, somebody named me on Twitter, and I don't know who it was. To this day, I still would love to know who that person is. I went and searched and everything, but you can't go that far back on Twitter or whatever. But I went online one day. It was just like, hey, I'm taking myself a little serious. I think I probably need about a name by now, because at this point, it was just like Nails by Takara. Like, I don't want that. Like, it was so, everybody kind of had that type of vibe. Nails by Trisha, nails by Tina, nails by this. It's like, I don't,
yeah.
it's so, and then I also knew, because I was an artist even before the nails, it was like, it's not going to be just a nails by this. I just need an artist name, whatever. So,
Mhm,
throughout a few of my, obviously people knew my Spiff Chronicles, spiffy thing and stuff like that. And somebody was like, Spifster. It's like the one who makes things spiffy. So, it's like, yeah, that works. I like that. So yeah, that's how that came about.
yeah, that's really, really cool. I definitely want to get into the Chicago scene in terms of nails. Like, how big is the nail scene in Chicago, possibly?
It's gotten bigger. Had you interviewed me about when I first started, nope, it wouldn't have been nobody for real here. Like, you had
Right.
your normal run of the mill kind of, the chop shops, they call the shops around town that really only want you in there
Right.
for 20 minutes at a time, whatever. So yeah, it was really that around. And when I first started doing nails, the only names that I had heard of was Astro Wifey. We were the only of that style, because we were the only people actually designing nails. It's different to slay a shape in the one color, but when you actually are
Hmm.
designing, modern art pieces or whatever you want to say. That was all who was kind of circling around Chicago. And then over
Hmm.
time, you started to get more people that would tap in. I started about hearing about the name Gigi, and then it was this girl, Peaches, that was doing nails. And I started learning about more black nail techs in the city or whatever. So, but even still, it was real, real small. Chicago, a big
Hmm.
space, and it's a cool space with forward fashion. A lot of the stuff is originated here in Chicago, so it was always surprising to me that we didn't have these known nail artists, as when I would go to, say, New York or LA, and it's like,
Right.
these are nail towns. These girls do it when it comes to nails, whatever. So,
Hmm.
but now 2023, it's popping a little bit. It's popping a little bit. You got a lot of names out here, like, or I've even just looking at people who I've known in the scene from when I first started as Spifster, and people who were like, yeah, I'm not into that nail art thing. Yeah, nah, that's not really my thing. Who are getting nail art down nowadays, like,
Right.
or even like my simpler clients have now been a little bit more explorative to trying
Hmm.
different designs, or now of other nail pages that you can go and bring inspiration and stuff like that. Before,
Hmm.
people were just like clueless, like, or the inspiration was very vague when it came to the Chicago scene. So
Hmm.
it's a lot of girls out here doing it. It's good too, because now I'm kind of like inching back from the game, and it was like
Hmm.
always this problem, like, when I first got out the game, like, where they gonna go? Where are my clients gonna go? Like,
Right.
Astro was always booked up. Gigi is booked up. Like, these other nail tech, they booked up. I don't know what y'all gonna do or whatever. So now it's like we got a whole crew of girls, a whole gang of them. So it's a good thing out here now.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I had an interview with Astro Wife, and she's really, really cool, very, very talented. Speaking of like the fashion, in Chicago, like one of my colleagues that's from Chicago, I went to SCAD with. Her name is Chelsea Billingsley. I don't know if you heard of her.
Billingsley,
Yeah, Chelsea Billingsley. Chelsea B.
maybe. Oh, the one who does the yarn.
Yeah, the crochet.
Oh, yes. Well, I didn't know that was her last name all the way. I know Chelsea B though. Yeah, she's so sweet. I love her.
Yeah, yeah. She's with the Jordan Women's Collective along with Astro Wifey, and
Yep.
she's mad talented. So
Dope.
that's really, really cool.
She mad crazy. Yes, Chicago is. We so blessed to be here. Like, cause
Mhm.
I get asked in interviews a lot. Like, so what inspires you? It's like literally, I can just look outside in my peers and be inspired by just looking at what they doing, even if it's
Right.
something separate from nails or even art and design. Like, you just did
Mhm.
what? You just collab with who? You're a part of what collective? You doing da 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 da? It's like, yo, I'm inspired just by just being here. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And one of the artists I really love looking at his work, his name is Hebrew Brantley.
Oh
Like his
yeah.
work is amazing, phenomenal.
Cold. I remember one of my first gigs as a nail artist. It was at a gallery called 3P's Art Gallery. And it's so funny, just once again, just how Chicago progresses. The two owners of that gallery, one has gone off to create a pie company. Now she has a Netflix series. She's on one of the baking shows on there. And
Wow.
the other one, she has a wine line that has gone nationwide, and just so yeah, I just love
Mm,
progression. But they were the first people that schooled me to Hebrew because he was just there. You know, some of his work was at the gallery, just amongst other people's work, whatever. Just kind of like just not thrown up there, but just like it wasn't like the Hebrew show or whatever like that. It was like, oh yeah, this is an artist from Chicago, and just like to see him blow the
right.
hell up, like man, to see like Jay-Z buy his first like his piece from him and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, it's so attainable just being from Chicago because we're talented at the core, but something
Mhm.
about our personalities too, just our go about, our finesse, it takes us to heights. So
Yes, absolutely. I want to get into in regards to your collaboration. So you collaborate with Nike and Cadillac, but you also collaborate with Pear Nova. So how did those collaborations between you and Pear Nova come about?
Pear Nova, so the owner of Pear Nova is Rachel, and it literally started off as it was so organic. She came to me as a client for real, when she first was testing out her colors for Pear Nova before it was even a thing, before she even announced anybody. She was coming to me, showing me
Mhm.
some of the colors, like how you like this or whatever. Let me get
Mhm.
my nails done so I can have these, so I can test out these colors. And I've had clients before who have done that, who have had polished lines or whatever it is, whatever brand. Hey, Spiff, can you test this out with me or whatever? And I don't mind testing it out, but like you could just naturally see that she really liked my work. Like just
Mhm.
it would even go beyond like sometimes like she would bring in her nail polishes and she'll see something else I did online. She's like, man, shit, I don't even want to do this color no more. Like, screw my colors. Like, I just want you to like snap. I don't want to
Right.
hold you back or whatever like that. So it was kind of one of those unspoken things. Like we just build a bond naturally, and like Rachel's cool as hell. Like I love her to death or whatever. But like over time, it was one of them like we knew if something would go on, we would collab. We tried to do
Mhm.
a nail sticker collab years ago and it just never fell through or whatever. But when you need
Mhm.
some nails, girl, holla at me. When you design, holla at me. If it ever would come a time where I needed someone to be the manufacturer of a polish for me, she would be someone I would hit up or whatever. So she
Mhm.
called me one random January day last year, was like, hey, I got asked to do this. Will you be down to, design these nails for the Black Panther? And it was like, hell yes. Like, what you mean? Like, I'm not gonna
Right.
say none of that. So yeah, it was this kind of simple thing. So, and I feel like that's kind of like how all of my collaborations have come. I feel like now in my 15 years of doing it, now I feel like I'm going towards some collabs. Like I'm pushing out there to actually ask certain companies to work with them, whatever. Where in the beginning, just you would know people. You just build these relationships naturally over time with people. You got friends who are working in these different corporate worlds that can just easily plug you in because they just know a talent without having to search it. It's so interesting because I talk to a lot of people that work in the corporate world and like we were searching high and low for this tattoo artist. It's like, damn, you had to really search high and low for that. Like I could have given you a whole lineup if you were here in Chicago or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, like it just the collab is kind of natural here. So
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Now, how important is the power of collaboration, especially how it can elevate your business and your brand, like in your perspective?
one thing I say, you have a lot of ideas as a creative entrepreneur, whatever the case may be, and sometimes those ideas just don't come about.
Right.
And that's because of the resource or whatever, your connections and things like that. So when you do have these collaborations, you can now use someone else's platform to kind of amplify something that you already had an idea for or whatever. Or
Mm-hmm.
now working with a company, there are just sparks flying now, like of different things that could be like, man, I haven't thought about this before. They hit me up to design this. I can now design this for myself or whatever. So
Right.
I think that's one thing that's great about, the collaboration of it, just getting your ideas have never been seen before now out to the table. So, and that can just
Mm-hmm.
open up the floor for so many more brands and people
Right.
to come and holler at you about different collaborations and stuff. So, and it keeps
Mm-hmm.
you on your toes too. You get stuck in one boat and then you ask somebody to kind of like give you something. It's like a little challenge in a sense. So
Right. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to get into celebrity clients. So you've done Taraji P. Henson, and Janelle Monáe. I definitely want to get into what goes into building a celebrity clientele. Like, how does one achieve a celebrity clientele?
Kind of the same as like I was saying with the collaboration things. Like you build relationships with people over time. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
noticed even from out of high school, one, I've always been around artistic people. Like I went to a high school that had a theater, a theater. What am I saying? Like a theater. You know the word I'm looking for. That's what she was focused on while he was in school or whatever.
Right.
And even in elementary school, I was around a lot of that. So
Mm-hmm.
naturally, now that these creative kids are now creative adults, they are getting into these worlds of you the marketing head of this thing, or you're the creative director of this, or you're da 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 da. So that's just over time, it's just kept building up and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it happens just like that. Just being nice to people, not burning bridges. Like
Right. Mm-hmm.
being cool, like
Absolutely.
being someone that a person feels proud that they can say they know you or you can work for
Right.
them and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So also that goes into your own professionalism. How are you seen as your own entrepreneur? And are you somebody that's gonna mess up my buck? Are you gonna mess up my name if I bring you in here? Or are you a person I know is gonna be a delight to everybody that I introduce to or whatever? So, and I feel like I've been that. So it
Mm-hmm.
kind of it's a blessing. It's such a blessing.
Mm. Now, what has been your journey and experience, like having your own like nail salon business, like from how you first started, like to like in terms of, like the progress? So how has that been, like having your own nail salon business?
Oh wow. Well, I will say just the upgrade of tools first and foremost. I started off on a card table. I mean, not a card table, a TV tray table, little fold up joint. Then when I expanded, I put two of them next to each other, kind of like put on top of it and make it one full table. So just to see how it's kind of it's interesting. It's kind of like the iPhone. You remember how the iPhone started off and they were like small and stuff like, but they were big. No,
Yeah,
they
it
were
got
small,
bigger. Yeah.
then they went bigger or whatever. But now I feel like we're getting to a point where they may start to get a little smaller and stuff like that. So I think that's how I was, because now I'm getting to a point where like, I don't even need all this space that I had grown to. Because at one point I went from that table to your standard nail table, and then we ended up getting a table built of like this plywood that was just massive or whatever. It's like this. I don't need all this space. Like this
Right.
is let's condense it back down, and then like let's condense it back down or whatever. So yeah, that's the journey in that. But like having my own like nail salon business, I just love the freedom of it. Honestly, like
Hmm.
I love the freedom of the hours, but also I love the impact that I make on women on the daily. Um, just knowing that I'm a lot of women's happy space. They look forward to this. Like I got a client right now and she's like, all right, girl, turn the vibe on. You know what I came here for. Like, let's get to talking. Like, and if I'm talking on the phone with somebody else, she's like, I came to talk. Like, so
Right.
it's a thing for women. It makes their days, their weeks, all of that stuff. Like I just texted a client the other day and I had some availability for her. She's like, oh my God, you just made my whole day. And I know she was telling the truth, literally about that or whatever. Just
Right.
to see the women have cried over time, just being a therapist to women, like that's like the salon like
Hmm.
business to me, for real, for real. Like the nail art is secondary. Like, and that's a great secondary because you get some really good ass art.
Hmm.
But one thing I do like about this world is having that moment one on one with a person and getting real with them and stuff like that. So Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to switch gears and talk about how you had your own home decor line, but also you had your own clothing line. So, what was the decision behind like extending beyond the nail canvas?
I've always wanted to do it. Always, always, always from day one. Like I wanted to be an interior designer.
Mm,
Nails was never a thing. Like I said, it came up about on accident type of thing.
right.
So that was always the end all be all. Like, yeah, we're gonna do these nails, but we trying to get to this home decor one day. I
Right.
wanna have my own IKEA style store. So I need to start working on it, stuff like that. So I found out about Society 6, which is a site that you can just easily upload your designs to, and they drop ship for you, and they create all of the products you need. So, found them, upload a few designs, and now you got a line. And it's also just like a lesson in just kind of go about and doing it, because people have these talks all the time. I want to do this. I want to do this, and of
Mm,
course, yeah. In the perfect world, I would have loved to day one get all of my designs sent to a printer, get them applied to different products, get it, made to different fabrics and stuff like that. Give me a rent a brick and mortar, set up a beautiful, boutique interior design spot up the street or whatever. But it don't happen like that. It ain't gonna happen off back just like that unless just happen to got that luck about yourself or whatever. But what you can
mm,
do is use these resources out here, get these drop shipping websites together, and now I got a whole ass line. It's not to say that I don't have a store. I do have a store through this store, goddamn it. So, and I can add a brand name to this. So,
right.
and so yeah, that's where Deco's Piff came about. So, and just a little side thing because people see the SPIFF at the end of Deco's Piff. My name is spelled with one F. So that's not my name at the end of Deco's Piff. I came up with Deco's Piff because I call it Piff for decorators. Piff, that heat, that stuff that you need or whatever for
Right.
decorators. And I feel like that's what I want my line to be. Like, this is for the people that want to decorate the house in a way that they be like, damn, I'm so tired of seeing the same
Mm,
styles over here. Like, so Deco's Piff. Piff decorators.
that's really, really amazing. I definitely want to get into with having such a unique eye for art. Like, how has your art style like developed over the years? Like, how have you been able to develop your own art style?
It has been just a jumble of things that I've been exposed to, honestly. um I've taken inspiration from inspiration clients I've brought. I've taken inspiration from my city. I've taken inspiration from my graphic design beginnings, knowing how to design things via Photoshop and stuff like that. I've taken inspiration from my love of geometry, like um
Mm,
meeting clients in New York when I first was exposed to working out there, and the knowledge of the art world in New York is like, I feel like everybody there got they up on what art is, like for real, for real.
right.
Like, you just can't help it. You growing up in this city that's full of all these cultures smashed up one by one. In Chicago,
Right.
we separate. We real separate. New York is more merged together. So like, just listening to the lifestyles of clients and the knowledge they know or whatever, or just, like I said, it's giving me inspiration from these things that they know or whatever, that has helped expand my style and stuff, because now I'm trying out different line works because of whatever you sent me, or let me test how these colors blend together. And my thing has always been like, I want to be inspired by somebody. I don't want to be like, I don't want to just rip off someone's artwork per se.
Right.
So I'm
Mhm.
always trying to find ways to, yeah, I've learned this technique by using, your work, but let me see how I can flip that another way. So yeah, you may be known for squiggly lines, but let me make my squiggly lines with some other lines in it, or add, other components and stuff like that too, or whatever. So, and
Right.
also I teach this in my classes with my students, like, being a service provider, you kind of want to impress the person that you're providing service for, or whatever. That's what's getting
Mhm.
them to come back. Like, you
Right.
bringing out these different treatments for them, like, I got a steam treater now. Like, oh shit, she got steams now, whatever. I got glitter
Right.
that falls from the ceiling. Oh, what? She got a disco ball, like all these things, whatever.
Right.
So my
Mhm.
style of work has always been like to kind of impress the client. So if I
Mm,
do find a style, and like I find another way I can amplify a little bit more, now I'm just learning how to stack them all on at one time, because I want you to get everything at once. So that's
mhm.
kind of like how my style has developed.
I definitely want to switch gears and talk about NFTs because ever
Ooh.
since 2020, like
Mm.
NFTs have been the rave, and I'm a holder of a few NFTs, and you had your own line of NFTs this past summer. So I definitely want you to go more into your own NFTs and the decision behind it, but also to like what are some ways that nail artists and nail techs can take advantage of the Web3 NFT space?
Um, Great question. NFT, ooh wee. So NFTs came about a time where I just happened to be sitting my ass down. I had broke my leg. I wasn't working on clients and stuff like that. And just, the world of technology is just everything was just happening. It was just a lot of stuff going on. People really into the cryptocurrency a lot or whatever. And I was beating myself up because I remember somebody telling me about Bitcoin back when it was nothing, and now we are here now. And I was like, damn it, why didn't I do it? So when I first started hearing about NFTs, I'm like, nah, let me learn about this, because people are talking about NFTs in the sense of what the internet used to be. In the beginning, when the internet was first developed, people kind of like, anybody about to be sitting on their computer all day long at home doing nothing. Look at us all day long at
Yeah, we're
home
doing it now.
doing nothing on the computer. So it's
Right.
like, okay, if I can get into this now, what's gonna happen 20 years from now, whatever. So just even thinking about the longevity of like
Mm-hmm.
my personal life and stuff like that, like I can only do what I'm doing for so long. Like it's only
Right.
so much my body can take with painting walls and painting nails and stuff like that. So it's like, what other ways out here can I, monetize and things and make a footprint out here? So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of played with it for a little bit. Just was in the Twitter world, Twitter space, just listening a lot, taking in a bunch of stuff, reading stuff, watching YouTube videos all day long. But trying to figure out how can me, the nail artist, come out here. So one thing I did peep with coming into NFTs, that I didn't see a lot of nail artists in it, or even beauty people in the general. Like I'm looking at all these bigger brands, CoverGirl and all these different places. Like none of y'all have tapped into this yet. Like this about to be
Mm-hmm.
the next wave. So, but also too thinking about the utilities of it all with
Right.
NFTs. Like, what am I gonna really put out there? Like, what's my giveaway or whatever? I'm doing nails. I can't just like say, hey, you get a nail service because this person from Australia may buy this NFT. I can't be flying out there. That ain't, you didn't pay for that much money for your NFT for flight benefits and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's like, what can I really do? And at that time as well, transitioning out of nails, I created a nail membership just here in Chicago, just like my set girls of who can always get their nails done. Sorry to the rest, but I got to cut my clientele off or whatever like that. So, but also too, I travel a lot doing nails. So trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out how I can do that post pandemic life or whatever. So I've came up with the idea of doing NFT memberships for each city. And basically, if you buy the NFT, your utility is the access to me whenever I do come in town, when I, of course, setting it up for that reason alone, whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
and just cut it down. If you're for real serious about this, you need to listen to me and get this NFT, because this has longevity for you as well if you buy into this
Mm-hmm.
right now. So yeah, it was, I found it. Also too, when I was looking at some of the nail artists that were into NFTs at the time, they weren't doing that. So I was like, what's another entryway into this? And not in the sense of, are they doing it, I'm gonna create something else different, but like,
Right.
if we're the spearheaders in this stuff, let's all kind of have different paths so we can, just lead it in a different way or whatever. So because
Right.
I saw one of my homegirls, she was literally just selling her pictures, the nail pictures that she takes on her Instagram page. She was selling those as NFTs by herself. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting setup.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that, but that felt like easy to me.
Right.
So, and then I saw another nail artist that wasn't even doing nail art. It was just a nail artist who was just creating little characters, PFPs projects and stuff like that. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let me figure out some other ways to do this. So I released it. I had a trip to New York planned for the NFT NYC conference. I'm like, this will be my first time I can knock this off or whatever. Unfortunately, we in a new world of this stuff or whatever like that. And I know what I could have done differently back then for it or whatever. I could have definitely been in these Twitter rooms a lot more, whole lot more, really, really getting into
Mm-hmm.
it. But I was still, doing other things in my life as well. But
Right.
NFT NYC, it was the first one. Everybody out here is pushing the NFT. Everybody ain't got that much money to be buying everybody's NFT or whatever like that. So,
Right.
and trying to convince my clientele that I already had in New York to buy a new way in to getting your nails done by me or whatever. So it was a little tricky, and on some real shit, it wasn't a good business deal. So I'm like, let me just stay my ass at home. We're going to keep it here for, some, to develop a little later on. But so yeah, something that's on the not necessarily on the table right now. Well, yeah, it's on the table right now, just a little bit. But I'm coming to pick it up. I'm picking it up off the table in a second. So
Yeah, right, absolutely. And to add on to that as well, like I learned about like NFTs like around like 2021, 2022 on
yeah,
Clubhouse, because there was Clubhouse spaces. There was a space called NFT Tips that was talking about NFTs and about utility and things like that. So that's like how a lot of these NFT projects that I had a chance to interview some of the founders of some of the NFT projects, like Dead Fellas, Laid Back Llamas, a
yeah.
kid called Beast. I had a chance to interview this artist named Ali Sabit, and he has his own NFT collections called Tokyo Punks, Healing Codes. So, what I see a lot of what these collections are doing is not just giving a PFP, is also providing utility. Like, hey, this is what the holder will get if you buy the NFT. And I like of what you did is that, you have your NFT, which gives people access to memberships in regards to nail sessions, getting their nails done. So I think it's definitely something that the nail industry should be keen on a lot more, because there are a few beauty brands that are getting into the NFT space and taking advantage of it. I think Elf and Estee Lauder, I think. So yeah, so I think this should be more of a way for the beauty industry.
And it's just we just still don't know, and it's everybody's
Yeah.
still kind of in the iffy place about NFTs, especially now in NFTs or whatever. Like some of your leaders in NFTs are stepping back from NFTs for whatever host of reason it is, whatever. So it's kind of hard to try to convince an industry to like, hey, this is a whole nother way to do it or whatever. So, but of course, you gotta be the spearheader and just do it, and they'll see it afterwards or whatever. So, as I do journey back into the world of traveling with doing nails, because also too COVID crazy, I was afraid to really go outside and be traveling with doing nails. I'm like, I'm gonna wait on that. So
right.
now that I'm reconfiguring everything, then we're gonna bring the NFTs back on the table, because I'd only created the NFT for the New York space. So essentially, I want to have an NFT for every hub that I'm going to. So of course you're gonna have a Chicago NFT, a LA NFT. I traveled to Texas a lot, in the past for nails and stuff. Atlanta NFT, and international NFTs and things like that. So yeah, it's gonna spread as it goes on, and people gonna see about it. It's gonna take some time, but like we said with the internet, it took a long time for the internet to really pop, to see where we're at right now with the internet. So I can't wait for us to have a conversation about this 20 years from now to see what happens. So
yeah, I'll be like in my 40s by that time. Yeah, that'll be very, very crazy. But I definitely want to get into in regards to nail products, because what's like some of like your favorite nail products used for like nail art and nail services?
I'm real simple. I'm a real simple, plain Jane girl. I work these events with other nail artists, and I'd be like, I don't have nearly a pinch as many products that you have, but also too, I have a different viewpoint when it comes to nails than your average nail artist. I'm an artist at the end of the day, first and foremost. So to me, all I see these is just different paints, and different opacities of paints and things like that, or thicknesses of different products. Like I just see this different textures and different ways to work and whatever like that. So a person may see a product that, that's a color that, it may take 12 layers for it to actually be opaque or whatever like that. But I see that as like just a different tool in my world or whatever. So my favorite products kind of are things that aren't necessarily nail products per se. Like I love me a Bounty wipe. I love Bounty rolls. Like that's my jam. Like I love just rubbing alcohol and the things that you can do with alcohol in nails and stuff like that. So And people, it's kind of like the behind the scene products that people don't give love to. Like, of course, you can shout out your favorite base coats and all that stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
like that alcohol that helped you through a whole lot of stuff, girl.
Yeah,
Like, go
yeah.
Pack's House,
30%.
that aluminum foil roll that helped you a lot, a
Right, them
whole
cotton
lot,
balls.
whatever. So, so yeah, those, I think those are like my favorite products, for real, for real. But if I did have to state a product that I really like, I am a big fan of Gelish foundation base coat. Like, I have, over my years of doing nails, and especially when I journeyed into getting into gel, like I didn't necessarily have someone in Chicago that I worked with all the time that I was seeing working with gel as well, or whatever like that. Like, you do your classes here and there, but you only seeing so much at these classes and stuff like that. So when I was working in New York at Vanity Projects, being around these other amazing nail artists, I'm learning the ins and out of gel and stuff like that. So just going over time, learning different base coats, like, okay, this base coat may pill up at this time. This base coat does this base coat does this, or whatever. So Gelish has now been like that base coat that's like, that's my girl. She gonna lay a nail. She gonna have that bad boy nice and secure too, or whatever. So yeah, that's probably, I would say, my favorite project.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'm into outside products, not just like the, the on brand nail products. Like, with my nail art, like I use like gouache. I used to use like acrylic paint, watercolor. So, because I don't think that's something that a lot of people even use. Like, I don't see anyone using gouache on nails. So that's what I use on my
What
nail art.
is gouache?
So gouache is like a mixture of watercolor and like acrylic. So
Okay.
so say for instance, if you're painting something, right? So say if you're painting like a sun or something, with a color yellow. So that yellow is not going to dry up quickly. So you can go back and reuse it, reuse that color. So it's like
Okay.
watercolor,
Okay.
mixed with acrylic and watercolor.
Yeah, no, people not not.
Yeah, so is definitely, I think, people should experiment more with different mediums. Yeah, like how you said with alcohol, you can do a watercoloring technique with alcohol, and that's like what I do with my gels, like my gel polish colors. Like I use alcohol to, dilute the gel colors
Yeah,
down because it's so thick. So, that helps me, adhere, do the nail art, easier.
that part. Or yeah, I even got one randomly. I love, the Command Hook company, the little stick-on hooks that you put on walls and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
I like those for nails because I use those to design my press-ons on. It has like a nice base, square enough that you can hold it really well in your nail, and like the little hook part is the perfect like size to like lay a nail right on top of it. And then afterwards, you can use it as like a display afterwards, like those type of things, like real random type of stuff. That's my dig. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
holler at me. I'm trying to get a deal with them. So yeah, holler at me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to, go back into NFTs really quickly. So, what do you think are some ways that nail artists and nail techs could take advantage of the NFT Web3 space?
I think that they can dive into like the membership thing that I'm doing. I think that I think people just really can just sell their products on that. People can literally sell press-ons as an NFT. Like, I know a nail artist, CY, some girl. She's from Brazil though.
Yeah,
Japanese and
sashimi.
Brazilian.
Yeah, Vivian shoe or something like that.
I don't know about the Vivian shoe. I never heard that one. It's like SYS. I wish I had the name written down right now. Whatever, like
Yeah,
that.
but I know who you're talking about. It's CY. I don't know how to spell
But
it,
she
but I know
making these really crazy like
nails. Yeah.
built out nails of, just abstract stuff, whatever like that. Like, she's just selling pictures of these photos of these nail molds and stuff like that. Like, doing photo shoots or whatever. Like, it's so many opportunities out there for that. Like, you take pictures of your nails all the time. Like I said, my other friend who's selling NFTs of just her pictures that she posts on Instagram, especially if you're a person who posts nails on Instagram in a very aesthetically pleasing way. Like,
Right.
that can be a whole set right there or whatever. So it's a lot of ways. You can set up your daily nail appointments on there or whatever. You can have monthly NFTs for, now, how we have those service providers that close their books off, and then they may open it up at the end of the month. That could be your, when involve another NFT or whatever. So, that's just the way. It's just a matter of, the knowledge of it all. So it actually is inspiring me right now as I'm talking to you. That's, to, build some education on that further. So, because you just don't know what you can do with it. So,
Right.
because the
Yeah.
options are endless. Because think about there are so many ways. I mean, so many jobs that are in the nail industry now. So it's just like, I think you should apply it to that. People, separate this Web3 world, the Web2 world, or whatever. When I feel like it all coincides, it's just a different currency. Honestly, that's just kind of what it is. So do the same exact thing you're doing over here on the nail side, on the NFT side.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, like, how have you been able to balance being a nail artist with mental health?
Oh, taking breaks. You just got to be realistic with yourself. Like, one day I had a client, I love her to death. It's one of my favorite clients. And she helped me realize that I need to really take a break. I don't even remember what the hell I was going through that day, but girl was sad. Girl was sad. And because we did have a relationship that I was open to tell her, I was telling her what was going on or whatever. So she's coming into her nail appointment. I'm starting to tell her what's going on or whatever. And as she's sitting down, I'm telling the story. She's like, "Oh, girl, you're not doing my nails today." So I'm like, "No, like, it's okay." She's like, "No. You need a day to yourself." She's like, "You're going through some stuff. I can wait. My nails don't need to be done like that. Take it." And I think she probably like bought me a latte or something like that. She's like, "Take a day off. We need you. Okay. Skip
Right.
us in the nails or whatever." And it's the truth. Like, in all of these, in everybody's industry, like, working is a lot. Adulting is a lot. It gets to you, whatever. So you need to take those breaks. So add in the element that, as your service provider, I'm holding your hands the whole service. I'm looking at you right in your eye. We are no more than about 4 feet apart the whole time. We are taking in each other's energies, our vibes, and I'm gonna talk to you. We sitting here for about 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes. Let's get into this nitty gritty, girl. So what's been going on? Why you feel this way? If I hear something, I'm like, so I mean, why you do that though? I've heard the words, "Man, I ain't never told nobody this before," so many times while doing nails. So people unload on you, and I don't mind that, but I need to take the time away because you're gonna go crazy. Like, I remember one day I came home from the salon, and I was having a good week personally. It wasn't no BS going on, but like, it was so many stories that was thrown around at the salon of just heartbreak, death, fires. I mean, fire is just so much just sadness that was going on that people were talking about. And I'm listening to these stories. I came home and I was listening to a Jasmine Sullivan song. It wasn't even a sad song about it from Jasmine Sullivan. Well, one of her notes, she sang a note and it just broke me. And I was just crying. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I crying like this? And it was just because of that. Like, just taking in these energies all day long. So now, I take breaks. I say no. Literally, I think just really just the number one thing, saying no. Like, I don't do more than a certain amount of clients in a day. Given some days, depending, I may have to do 3 people if I'm doing clients. But if I can do one person a day, that's a perfect world for me. And it may be I do one person that one day and I may not do nails the rest of the week. I've even had moments where, and given I don't do this to everybody, you know who to do it with. So I don't want to give nobody this advice, just be going out here and canceling appointments last minute because this is unprofessional. But you gotta know who to do it with. But I've had people that I just like last minute, like, "Hey, can we do tomorrow instead?" Because just energies is off, So I do that a lot. So, and taking vacations and just living in the moment, I do that a lot. That helps me with just the mental health aspect of it. A lot of people are very strategic with a lot of things they do. There's a lot of go with the flow with me. A lot of just, it is what it is. So yeah, that's how I kind of handle it.
With looking back at your journey, as creative and as a nail artist, what are some things that you found the most rewarding as a creative, but also what are some things that you've learned throughout the journey?
The most rewarding, maybe what I said earlier, just knowing that I'm that special place for a lot of people. Like clients have said, my nails have never looked this good ever. People have getting their nails done their whole lives. Like I've had people who I've done their nails once and I run into them 10 years later. They're like, yo, that set you did on me was like still to this day. Or even when I have clients who I haven't done in years, and then when they do come back to me, they say things like, you know, I ain't got my nails done since the last time you did them, because after that one time you did them, I ain't want to go back to nobody else. And it was like, damn, man, like you are really making that impact? Because I wouldn't do that. I'm gonna go and get my nails done by somebody else. I'm just gonna get a quick little one color from something or whatever like that. But if you just like say you boycotting it all together because the service just ain't gonna be the same, even beyond the actual designing of it, just the one-on-one time, like I tell you, even how I take care of your nails, my prep and stuff like that. People like, no one's ever prepped my nails like this before. So to hear those type of things, like the never done this before, never felt this way before, that's the most rewarding for me with doing this, like beyond the money completely. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I definitely want to get into this question. If you had a top 5 list of your favorite nail artists, who would they be and why?
Woo-wee. Top 5. In no order. No order. How would you say his name? Is it's like Ichi Matsunaga.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Amazing use of materials that aren't your normal nail materials, and all of these different raised elements on the nails, but very geometric and very clean, all very interesting, like optical illusion-y type of things or whatever. So, and he was doing this long before that. I say now the explore page is filled up with a lot of texture and raised things and different things like that. Like he was an originator, I feel, in that world, the Japanese nail art. So a lot of my favorites are Japanese nail artists. Mako, I used to work with her at Vanity Project. Mako Sao, another favorite, Brittany Tokyo, just her use of mixed medias of everything. Like that girl know how to draw her ass off, but she know how to use some stickers real well. She knows how to use all of the elements of nails really well to create a story or whatever. And just to see how she's, just expanded over time and the celebrities that she's done. That's one of my homegirls too. I love her. How would you say her name? Bettina Goldstein. I like her too. She's one of my favorites right now. Her use of just very simple techniques, very, very cleverly done. It just makes, I love minimal. Like my own personal style, I'm a real minimal girl. Just see, I don't got much on my nails right now. Like I don't like a lot. So she'll make use of, like I said, the smallest something, little technique. You're like, oh, I didn't think to put that gold right there though. Okay, I see what there. And it'll be like on like short natural nails too. So when you have people that can make these really stunning looks online on short natural nails, that shows you that you're doing some really good work. So, and then because that was 4. I'm gonna just throw in like my 2 friends in there. I'm gonna do Astro Wifey and Natalie Minerva, who a lot of people know as Nail Swag, and that's just one, they just really good at what they done, and just to see the trajectory of how they've grown. Like Natalie is one of the most known nail artists out here in the world, in the celebrity world. So, and she's that nail artist that people don't know she's the nail artist for this type of stuff, whatever like that. Like the fact that all the nails for Euphoria, you did these, like so dope to me. Like, hey, you my homegirl, I love you. Just to see the beginnings of where you came from. And even Ashley, Astro Wifey, like the girl knows how to take textile, print, all that stuff, and just knows how to just recreate and be inspired by it to a T. Like it's always really clean work, and she cares about the longevity of your nails, the integrity of your nails, how they look, how you land and stuff like that. So I appreciate that too in a nail artist.
That's absolutely amazing. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media? How can people support you and your work?
You can find me at Spifster as Spifster. That's on all of the social medias. You can find me. Right now, you can support me in buying a set of my Pear Nova layovers, Wakanda Fabric, Black Panther nail sets. It's this collection of three nails that I designed with Pear Nova for the Black Panther movie. You can buy those on pearnova.com. That's pear like the fruit. Nova as in the outer world, but so yeah, Pear Nova. Yeah, and just follow me on all of this my social medias because I got a lot of stuff that's just coming up. I'm building and I'm churning, so you'll be hearing about a lot of things coming up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Spifster, for jumping onto the show. Your artistry is absolutely incredible. And some of my podcast interviews, I mention you all the time about how your work is so unique and so immaculate. I just love like your style, like where it's like geometric and it has like that graffiti type of feel to it. So that's really, really, really cool that you have your own unique style and it's not, like an emulation of anyone else's. It's uniquely you. So I really appreciate this, cool conversation. And it was great to get to know you and your story.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Be sure to check out my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful.